Howdy, welcome back to Thoughts While Thinking. Today we're going to talk about a little history of downtown Bryan. Downtown Bryan, or Bryan, is celebrating 150 years here pretty quick. And the Palace Theater has a real history of Bryan that needs to be told. Most people don't know about most of it, but you got to know that originally the Palace Theater was the opera house and the city hall. They switched back and forth from being an opera house to the city hall. So anyway, that is something I bet you didn't know. In 1911, Morris Schulman showed the first movie in the opera house. And he continued to show movies as they come out over a long period. And in 1926, he leased the opera house. And in 1928, he bought it. And in 1922, the year WTAW went on the air, he turned it into a movie theater and called it the Palace Theater. And one of the sad parts of the whole story is that, and I don't remember what the date is, but I think it was in the late or early 30s, he was found hanging on the stage by the neck. And that was a tragic event for Mrs. Schulman, and she took over and started operating it. And in 1964, she remodeled it and made it into a real plush, fancy theater. And to open up, she joined with WTAW and to promote the grand opening of the new and improved and super Palace Theater. Mrs. Schulman and I got along real well. She kind of liked me, and she was an older lady, and she had this assistant that kind of protected her, and we all got along well. But Mrs. Schulman was a marketing promoter. She liked to promote and go. So she brought in one of the latest movies that was out, and it was a yellow Cadillac. And I mean, a yellow Rolls Royce. I get that right sooner or later. But anyway, the old yellow Rolls Royce. We ran contests on rides, and winners are riding in that thing, and that was back then that was about $100,000 car. Now you apply that to what it was really worth on today's terms, it was up in the millions. And you'd expect something like that to be real comfortable in riding, but the old buckboard and no spring wagon was pretty much comparable to the ride. But anyway, I enjoyed riding in that thing, and it was a real memory in Stewart. And then we also there's Mrs. Schulman and one of the actors in the yellow Cadillac. I'll get that Cadillac out of my head pretty soon. The yellow Rolls Royce. And that is another lady is the assistant that kind of protected Mrs. Schulman and kept her from all the ne'er-do-wells from getting close to her. And anyway, going on, we also ran a contest with the actresses and actresses, and people that won the contest would get to come in and meet and interview the actors. And so the promotion and the upstart of the Palace Theater and the new terms was just really a big event in downtown Bryan. So we uh, enjoyed the promotion, and it was a great thing for the Palace Theater, and it was a great thing for WTAW because it really, I guess, was one of the big things that put WTAW on the map because you got to remember back then everybody was talking about that yellow Rolls Royce and that movie and the movie stars all coming to downtown Bryan. And you know the Schumann's, they had the Skyway, and it ran pretty much the new movies like the Palace, only uh, probably a little bit later on, not the real up front, just when they first come out. And then they had the Queen across the street, and the old Queen. Uh, there the well, let me get back to this outside theater. In 1974, the Palace Theater caught fire and burned down, and they demolished it. I think something like August of '74, and they rebuilt the outdoor theater, and they kept the old big man marquee. Uh, and it was, and it still holds events, and it's a big attraction in downtown Bryan now. So, getting back to, there's another view of the Palace Theater on the current situation. It's got a cover over it that they pull over in case of inclement weather, so it don't get rained out. But you know, the cold weather may put a stop to it. And then the Queen Theater was across the street, and it showed those Class B movies and stuff, and it was kind of shabby, and you know, it needed a lot of repair, but they kept showing movies, and then they finally closed it down because of the expense of modeling it up, and the change in television coming in and changing the way people went to the movies and that sort of thing. So they closed it down. And a couple of years ago, a couple of entrepreneurs and civic-minded persons remodeled the Queen and used the big marquee as a trademark for downtown Bryan, and it's a beautiful building and a great sight to look at. And they hold and they show old time movies there. They also have community meetings and that sort of thing in there, so it's put to good use. And the old Queen Theater is still operating in good shape, and so is the Palace Theater. So there is the part of the history of downtown Bryan, and I'll bet you didn't know that it used to be the old Opera House and City Hall. Oh, what a great story! You know, there's another Queen Theater, but that is such a great story about the theater and the history of. And Mrs. Schumann, she was a solid citizen, and she brought a lot of attention to downtown Bryan, and that's our thoughts while thinking about downtown Bryan and Mrs. Schumann, and I miss her. She was a lovely lady. Thank you, and that's my thoughts while thinking.